Yo, what up? It's Blitz. We're playing Warframe. I've got some updates on my Excalibur Umbra build. I'm really happy with what's going on. So I'm about to show you guys what I got going on with that. Yeah, sit back, relax. Hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So this is the newest addition to what I have going on with Excalibur Umbra, or my Ronin X. It's the arcane shards. They become available after the Veilbreaker quest. You can hunt for them during the Archon hunt. You'll be able to see the Archon hunt in your navigation panel when you look where the sorties are. There's a tab right after that that says Archon hunt. So you just click it, and it basically is the same thing as a sortie, only the levels are a little bit higher and the missions are a little more difficult. So Archon shards are well worth, in my opinion, they're worth the farm. So yeah, this is what I have so far. I have 2 Crimson shards, Crimson Archon shards, giving 10% ability strength. I have 2 Azure Archon shards, giving 150% armor, and then I have 1 Azure Archon shard giving 150% shield capacity. So we've got 1,000 health, 1,000 shield, and 1,000 armor, which is really crazy. And then our ability strength is at 221. The next thing that I want to share is that I infused an ability. I now have the evade ability that's from Sight-009. Yeah, this ability is OP, especially on Excalibur with slash dash, or even if without it, if you want to just like shoot your primary or do a lot of melee attacks and stuff like that, or if you're running a stealth mission, it'll get you through a lot of pinches. So I chose this over Roar and a bunch of other powers or abilities that you could have, just because I like stealth. I enjoy stealth and status, and I feel like with the chromatic blade this would pair well with the stealth and status. I outlasted an Ash, I've outlasted Wukong, I've outlasted a few different frames in Steel Path with this build. So it's, for me, it's serving its purpose, and it's doing what it's supposed to do, and it's doing it really well. So I'm really happy with this ability. I still have the same other 3 abilities: Exalted Blade, Radial House, Slash Dash. Yep. This is the setup that I have for my operator. The beam cannon comes with the Propa Scaffold for that bomb that detonates every 1.5 seconds after you set it off with the alternate fire. The Rock-like Prism for that beam for Eidolon hunting, long distance beam, and then the Lore Embrace for, I don't know what that does. I think it's crit chance. It gives you crit chance. So there's that. But yeah, this is the beam cannon. It's gilded, so it does a lot of damage. Fire rate is 2, multi-shot is 1. Energy, you get 100 energy, and this recharge rate is 30 seconds. We've got Magus Vigor for 600 health to the operator when you void in and out. And then we've got Magus Elevate for a 95% chance to restore 300 health to your Warframe. So when you're low health, you can spam the transference button to get your health back. And I don't do it that often because I have the evade ability now, so yeah, I don't really do it as often as I used to, because that evade ability saves me from in a lot of pinches. Yeah. For the amp, we've got Virtuous Null for 25% amp energy regeneration for 4 seconds on kill. And then we've got Eternal Logistics for the on Void Sling You get 72% ammo efficiency for 8 seconds. So normally it's supposed to cost 10 energy a shot. So you have a total of 10 shots. But I've been getting like 21, 22 shots with this arcane on my amp. So it works out really well. I haven't used it in my Eidolon hunts. I'm gonna do an updated video with Volt doing Eidolon hunting. So be on the lookout for an Eidolon hunting build video with Volt and this arcane being showcased. My focus school is Zunero. I went with Zunero for Magnetic Flare, and for Caustic Strike, Magnetic Flare, you use your first ability to create an 8-meter radius field that lasts 30 seconds and disables the shields of any enemies that enter it. And then you got Magnetic Boost, so the Void Sling out of the Magnetic Flare to refresh its duration and increase its radius by 100%. So it goes from 8 to 16 meters. We've got Caustic Strike, so second ability launches an energy bomb that explodes with an 8-meter radius, stripping 100% of the enemy armor. You tap it again to detonate it in flight. So again, I haven't used this in Eidolon hunting. I just decided to go with this for Tech Rot Liches. Yeah. And then you got the Arrow Wisp, so max rank 100%, chance to summon an Arrow Wisp per enemy hit by the Caustic Strike. The Wisp will seek out the nearest ally within infinity range, increasing the operator damage by 100% for 20 seconds. So it goes to my allies. I don't really see this buff. I mainly did it for the Caustic Strike, stripping armor, and the Magnetic Flare. There's a couple other things that you can get from this, like Glass Grasp. You revive your Warframe by transferring to operator and killing 3 enemies before 15 seconds elapse, and then revive meter begins to drain. So during Lasting Grasp, operator damage is increased by 100% plus an additional 20% per second. So you have a chance to revive yourself if your Warframe goes down, which is really helpful. That saves me in a lot of pinches, as well as spamming in and out of transference with those 2 arcanes, those 2 Magus arcanes. So yeah, there's a lot to work with here. This is my current build with Excalibur Umbra, or my Ronin X. I got the Baza Prime, the Telos Balto, and the Paracesis, along with the Exalted Blade. For Excalibur Umbra, I have Corrosive Projection, Prime Sure-Footed. This is going to give us armor strip. It takes away 18% of armor. So it's basically just a damage reduction for everybody, all the enemies. So you can use your primaries, your melees, and your secondaries, and they all do 18% more damage basically. Yeah. So we got the Umbral mods, Umbral Fiber, Umbral Vitality, and Umbral Intensify, mainly for that 77% Umbral ability strength here. That's what we're doing it for. That's what I'm doing it for. At least I do it for the ability strength so that I don't have to use Blind Rage. Yeah. We've got Redirection for shield capacity, and then Prime Vigor for more shield capacity. Without it, you're still at 1,000 health, but you lose like 200, 300 shield. So I have that there for the shield to be over 1,000. I like having the shields. We've got Augur Seekers for 24% ability strength. Again, if you take it away, you're under 200%, which is not what I want. I want to be above 200% or more. So we're at 200% ability strength. Radiant Finish and Chromatic Blade are my augmented mods. Radiant Finish for the finisher damage, 300% finisher damage, which is increased by the 200% ability strength. So it sits at, if you look at it, it sits at 663% finisher damage. which is the finisher damage you get when you radio howl or radio blind if you're using base or prime variant Excalibur. And then you get the radiant finish 300% plus the 221% from the ability strength itself. Yeah. So also with Chromatic Blade, Exalted Blade Augment, the Exalted Blade's damage type changes depending on Excalibur's emissive color, and status chances increased by 300 when you max this mod out. So you got 300. You're guaranteed to proc your elemental procs with Chromatic Blade maxed out all the way. Oh, we've got Arcane Resistance for Toxin Resistance, and then we've got Arcane Nullify for Magnetic Resistance, so you don't get the dot damage from Toxin procs from your enemies, and you don't lose your shields, which is what happens when you get a magnetic proc. You lose your shields, all of them. You lose all of your shields. So we got those two mods. I felt like putting those two mods on rather than having ability strength and just having something else, because this in my opinion, your survivability is greater. So that's what I went for. I went for survivability, which means you're going to be doing more damage down the line along with prime sure-footing. So you're going to stay on your feet, you're going to keep your shields up, and you're not going to be taking any dot damage from toxin procs. If they had a slash mod, I would probably put slash, but I don't see slash that much. I mainly fight the Organ, the Corpus, and I guess they're the Murmurs that are in the Sanctum when you do the Netracell missions. So I don't really see the slash damage from Grineer enemies that much. But if they did have a slash damage resistance arcane, I probably would equip it. I would have it just to equip it for when I am gonna fight the Grineer. But yeah, I don't see them that much. This is my build for Excalibur Umbra. Alright, the Baza Prime. Guys, I slept on this gun. I've been MR10 for I don't know how long, a year, maybe a year and a half. I got to MR10 and I put the game down, played a bunch of other games. I just returned to this recently. Yeah, now I'm MR18, Master Rank 18. But yeah, I slept on this gun. I haven't been playing with it. I started playing with the Bratton Prime because it's available sooner. You get the Bratton Prime available to you at Master Rank 8. Baza Prime is available at 10, Master Rank 10. So I've been playing with the Bratton Prime and the Bratton. It's my primaries until I got the Ambassador. I played with the Batacor. My weapon of choice is the Corinth Prime. I like the shotgun. I like that it has 20 rounds. And I like that it has 120 in the ammo reserve, so it's a lot of damage to do. The reload speed could use some work, which is why I like the Baza Prime so much more now. The Baza Prime, the reload speed on it, base is a second. Just about a second. The accuracy is very high, and it's a silent rifle. It's a silent assault rifle. It's style. It's style, stealth, and status, which is what I want. The crit damage is really high. These are all the base attributes of the weapon. So it's got slash, it's got impact, it's got puncture, 16, which looks like not that much, but this damage crit chance and your damage multiplier are high. So yeah, definitely slept on this gun when I got it, before I got it. I thought it was gonna be poor too, but it's actually really good. Yeah, we got viral damage for Orcan damage against the Orcan, point strike for crit chance, vital sense for crit damage, Vigilante armaments for multi-shot, galvanized chamber for more multi-shot, and you get multi-shot on kill for 20 seconds and it stacks 5 times. Serration for that base damage, and then we got infected clip to pair with the toxic damage on malignant force. This is what I have so far. If I did have the arcane slot available, it would probably be Prime Dexterity or Prime Merciless. I don't really do Deadhead that much unless I'm playing Harrow, which is a new Warframe that I'm getting used to. I like him a lot, but Excalibur Umbra is still my favorite. And if I had anything here, it would probably be Ammo Drum, because it's very accurate and it's already silent, so I don't need anything else. Plus the bullet speed is pretty fast, so it's basically a hit scan weapon, a hit scan rifle, so it's really good. My secondary of choice is the Telozak Balto. Its unique trait is Truth, so you gain affinity to fill the Arbiters of Hexus meter and trigger a 25 meter gas explosion, restoring 25% health and increasing parkour velocity by 25% for 30 seconds. I've got a Riven mod that boosts crit chance, base damage, and damage to corpus. This is the build. We've got viral damage mods on here. We got lethal torrent and barrel diffusion for multi-shot. Hornet strike is that base damage mod. Bore for puncture damage, and crit damage with target cracker. We've got lethal momentum for projectile speed, because the projectile speed of this gun is pretty low. It's about the same as a Boltor, so it's really good to have this lethal momentum over like Hush, I think is what it is. It's either Hush or Suppress. It's Suppress. Alright, so it's Suppress. So again, secondary Dexterity for on melee kill, you get damage for 20 seconds, stacks up to 6 times. That's the Telozak Balto. The Paracesis, this is pretty basic stuff. I've got melee exposure. On ability cast, you gain 60% corrosive damage on melee strikes for 25 seconds, stacks up until you get to 240% damage, corrosive damage. So just keep getting your kills. I've got a Riven on this, the Paracesis Acri Visium. It boosts melee damage, your initial combo, which I don't see that much because I don't do heavy attacks that often, but I get the critical damage. So I'll probably roll this again to hopefully get better rolls, but this is what I got right now. And without this mod, you could still go in Still Path and do some damage, but I like it, so, and I have it, so I might as well use it. Yeah, this is my build. And then the Exalted Blade, this is the build for the Exalted Blade. You can't put any rivens on it. Remember we said that we had Chromatic Blade, so I got blue for electricity, and then I've got melee influence for on melee electricity status proc. You get 20% chance for the elemental melee status effects to apply to enemies within 20 meters for 18 seconds, and it cannot refresh while it's active. So it hits one time and you gotta wait 18 seconds before you can do this again. So this is a waiting game. It's good to have, but you don't see it that often. Don't rely on it. It's just good to have. It's like, for me, it's a style piece. You want to do the damage, so do the damage. But this is a style piece. If you're swarmed by a lot of enemies, just melee, pull out your Exalted Blade and melee the shit out of them until you get this to proc, and then it'll proc across the field, and just dip, because they'll all be stun locked, and reposition yourself. So yeah, that's how we do that. We've got viral damage because we're fighting Orokin the most. But yeah, this is the build. Master's Edge enables Tennokai and increases the Tennokai damage by 16%. It's supposed to be 15% chance for Tennokai. I normally see it every 30 seconds or so, maybe less than that. Just depends on how lucky I am during that mission. But I usually see it like every 13 seconds. So when I do, I normally make an attempt to hit somebody with a heavy attack, but normally they don't really show up. They don't really line up with the times that I get the Tennokai ability available, so I don't really see it that much. It's just good to have. Again, it's another style piece for me. It's good to have because if you have it, you might as well use it. If you have the availability there, you might as well put something in slot. And for me, best in slot is more damage. Yeah, so there's that. That's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found out some information. If you're returning to the game, or if you haven't returned to the game and you're thinking about it, now is the time. There's a lot of stuff going on. Borrow is available every weekend this month. He's about to show up in well, for me it's gonna be in the next 3.5 hours. So yeah, this is definitely the time to run ducat farms, get your ducats, get to borrow and trade as much as you can. So yeah, again, I hope this video was enjoyable and helpful. Please like, comment, and share. It does help out the channel. Subscribe and follow if you're happy. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the future of the channel. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.